This is a FizzBuzz, just printing odd numbers from between 1 and 100. Sounded very easy, but now it's not. I was thinking something about a +2, if that's possible, the skip count. That doesn't seem to work. At least, I don't know. I'm going to go look it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm thinking is to have one loop increment by one, a for loop, and then inside there have a nested for loop that increases it by another one. I think that's the only way to get it to increment by two. I don't think you can do +2 or something silly like that there. As good as that would sound, I think it's intended to just increment by one. So I'll do one here, and the print function will actually be inside of the nested loop. That way, one, two, and then it'll leave, add one here again, print. Okay. I think this will work. Let's see. Alright, so what I'm seeing, first of all, is that pen and paper is the bomb for working things out. I went back to pen and paper and I just sketched out some things. I wrote out some odd numbers, so a number line, just looked at it, wrote down the different ways to determine if something was odd or even, and exceptions for 1 and 2, which are kind of strange to do. Just doing the old remainder of 1 doesn't work till you divide 1 by 2, you don't get 1. Um, and so anyway, I think this is going to work fine. Just to test, I made this integer type variable. Ugh. Okay, so this works. What's the lesson? Bool is your friend. I used it twice. This is the second time it solved the problem for me. Um, so what happens here is we set our incrementer, our initializer at 1, so we want to start with odd numbers. It's going to increment by 1. There's no other way around that. That was okay. We're going to run this loop as long as I is less than or equal to 100, which means it will run from 1 up to 100. But what it's going to do is it's going to decide whether or not it's true that it's odd with this. If you divide I by 2 and get a remainder of 0, then it's odd. But if you do not get a remainder of 0, it's even. But if you do not get a remainder of 0, then it must be odd. So this is going to be true if this is true. Once it runs this little operation here, it decides that's true. So it checks I. Right at first, I is 1, and of course it's not going to give a remainder of 0. Therefore, it's odd. And if it's odd, if that's true that it's odd, it's going to write whatever I is. And then we do it again. And each time this bool type variable resets to whatever I is. And I gets increased by 1 here, so then it's 2. And it's not going to satisfy this, so it's not odd. It won't write. Exit, repeat the loop. And that'll keep running until it hits 100. And this is the result. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, no even numbers. So we've printed the odd numbers between blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Bools are my friend. Okay, I had some problems as we see submitting it to code eval. Failed, 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 failed. Solved. It worked, it was the same code every time, but what I found is that, well, remember the note that told me that when you have a challenge that has no input, as this one did, so that they're not using the stream reader to give you some kind of input. Put this in there as you do. This whole piece, this using stream reader, this whole uh, method here where they're getting information and all this, you delete all of this. When there's no input, delete all of that. Get you to, so you just have your main, whatever you call it here, and you post your code inside between these curly braces, and then that's what did it for me. Okay, the end. All's well that ends well.